Evening, folks. Ken Hovind here in the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama. It is October the 28th, 2025. Tonight we'll be in Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Is it worth getting rich? Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Remember, the whole book of Ecclesiastes is Solomon writing man's wisdom under the sun. This is the way man looks at things, okay? Not the way God sees things. The whole thing. And at the end of the book, he says, see, the best thing to do is just serve God. So if don't get doctrine, like Jehovah's Witnesses get a lot of their doctrine from Ecclesiastes. You know, a man dies, a dog dies, it's the same thing. Well, yeah, as far as people are concerned looking at it, but that's not the way God sees it. So anyway, so Ecclesiastes chapter 5, you got Job, Psalms, Proverbs right in the middle of the Bible, and then Ecclesiastes. Is it worth getting rich? So we're on a bunch of channels. We're on Facebook, on Rumble, on X, on our own app, KenHovind.tv, on Instagram, on TikTok. Sign up for all of them. They're all free. Okay, we want to get the gospel out. And tell your friends about us. Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. When you come before God, you better do more listening than you do talking. Some people, their whole prayer life is, God, I need this. God, bless this. God, please do this. Help me. And, bless the bunch as they crunch the lunch. Amen. Shut up. Listen. Let God talk to you instead of you talking to him all the time. Many times I'll get alone to pray. I'll say, Heavenly Father, I just stop right there. You talk to me, Lord. You don't need to hear what I got to say. I need to hear what you got to say. Okay? For they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God. Don't be in a hurry to make promises to God. For God is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. Some people, they talk too much. They pray too much. Just listen, okay? You ever notice God gave you 2 ears, but only 1 mouth? Isn't that interesting? Maybe you should listen twice as much as you talk. Okay, anyway. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by a multitude of words. What's he saying here? Your dream will come true if you get busy and do your business, but the fool just stands around and talks. The successful person has a multitude of business. He gets to work. But the fool has a multitude of words. Yeah, talk. When thou vowest a vow to God, defer not to pay it. He hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that thou hast vowed. Look, you make a promise, do it. With this business of multitude of words, like my daddy said, after all is said and done, there's a lot more said than done. Yeah. Better it is that thou shouldst not vow than that thou shouldst vow and not pay. You'd be better off not to make a vow than to vow and not pay. What's he talking about here? Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say thou before the angel, it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thy hands? I am shocked. When I was a kid growing up, we didn't know anybody who was divorced. They made vows for life. Now, first marriages, over half of them end in divorce, or they just live together, okay? Average number of partners for women varies, 4 to 8 partners in a lifetime. Where's the vows that, here's the vow. Will you love, comfort, honor, and keep her in sickness and in health, forsaking all others? Be faithful to her so long as you both live. And they make a vow, and then they don't keep it. Till death do us part. Yeah. Here's a typical vow. Just type in wedding vows. Here they are off the internet. I, George, take you, Susie, in San Francisco, Sam, to be your lawful wedded. Okay. I do promise to love and cherish him in good times and bad. Watch this now. For better, for worse, forsaking all others. This is common in all the wedding vows. Here's another one. For richer, for poor, for better, for worse, forsaking all others. What happened to this vow? Why do people just over nothing leave their partner? Don't stop. Don't your vows mean anything? Guess not. Okay. Better that thou shouldst not vow than that thou shouldst vow and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel, it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thy hands? Like, now look, and before you start judging other people, okay? Jesus was preaching, and a bunch of the Pharisees gathered around, and they brought a woman taken in adultery. They threw her down in the midst and said, what are you going to do, master? You know the law, she's supposed to be stoned. Here's the story, John chapter 8. The scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they set her in the midst, they say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act. well, where's the man? Doesn't it take two, if I recall? It's been a while. But yeah. Now, Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what do you say? They're trying to trap Jesus here. This they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Jesus stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground. This is the only time it mentions Jesus writing anything. And he wrote on the ground where it wouldn't be preserved, as though he heard them not. He just started writing on the ground. I've often wondered, what's he writing? I think he's probably writing names and addresses. So the guys are looking down saying, oh no, he knows about Susie over at Main Street. Oh no. Just my guess, you know. They're looking at him right on the ground. He knows. Hey, he knows. Okay. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself. I like that. He lifted up himself. Okay. And said to them, he that's without sin among you, cast the first stone at her. And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest even unto the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. He could have stoned her. He had no sin. When Jesus had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are those thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee? She said, No man, Lord. And Jesus said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. He's not condoning her sin. He said, knock it off. Your lifestyle's bad. There's a great song. It's been in the Christian songbook for years on this topic. Let me get over here to, there we go. I just picked one off the internet. There's a lot of people sing this song. I wish I couldn't find one with the lyrics though.
By a crowd of worshippers, sorry for their sin, was a poor wanderer rudely brought in. Scribes came and Pharisees, anxious to see what the meek Nazarene's verdict would be. They told him of her wandering, making each fall, spoke of her punishment, quoting the law, riding upon the ground sadly and slow. But said he unheedingly, head bending low, Neither do I condemn thee, precious word divine, from the lips of mercy, like the sweetest chime. Wonderful words of Jesus, sing them more and more. Neither do I condemn thee, go and sin no more.
On your own, but that's a cool gospel song in many hymnals. Okay, let's see. I got to come over here. There. In the multitude of dreams and many words, there are also divers vanities, but fear thou God. Some people dream of doing great things. Well, get to work. Okay? I got to finish this dream. I'm going to lay here in bed for a while. Okay? The vanity of wealth and honor. You know, you work. You work to get wealth. You surrender your health to get wealth. And then they surrender their wealth to get their health back. Duh. If thou seest the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter, for he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. If you see wrong going on, hey, God's going to straighten it all out. He will too. Moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. Isn't it interesting? Everything comes out of the dirt that we need. All the plants and the plants to feed the cows, and it all goes back to the dirt. Even the king. Depends on the dirt. Mm-hmm. He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver. Well, we saw that today, didn't we, Joseph? Those that love silver, it doesn't matter how much you give them, they want more. Yeah. Nor he that loveth increase, abundance with increase. Those that love to have a lot are never satisfied. They want more. This is also vanity. When goods increase, they are increased that eat them. Or you get more money coming in, now you got more people eating off your table. We serve 3,000 meals a month here. Okay. Phil, you ready to try cooking for that? Okay. And what good is there to the owners thereof, saving the beholding of them with their eyes? Your goods increase, you get a lot of stuff, all you can do is look at it. Doesn't do anything. He said, Solomon, this is the way it looks to man under the sun. The sleep of a laboring man is sweet. How many of you have ever worked really hard, physical work, all day long, and you sleep like a rock. It's, I don't know how rocks sleep. Okay. You sleep, the sleep is sweet. Having a hard time sleeping? Maybe you're not working hard. Just a thought. Whether you eat little or much, it doesn't matter. You can't say, well, I ate too much, I can't sleep. No, you work hard, you'll go to sleep. But the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. In Old English, King James, suffer means to allow. People that have a lot of stuff, now they got to lay awake worrying about it. Yeah, you won't let them sleep. There is a sore evil, which I have seen under the sun, riches kept for the owners thereof through their hurt. The people that get rich and they got a lot of stuff, it ends up hurting them, not helping them. Solomon said, this is a sore evil. But those riches perish by evil travail. He that begetteth a son, and there is nothing in his hand. Come into the world, you got nothing. Matthew Henry did a great commentary in the late 1600s and early 1700s. The guy only lived to be, 40, 50, 52, okay? A British nonconformist and Presbyterian minister, best known for his 6-volume biblical commentary. If you ever have a question what a passage means, type in Matthew Henry commentary, and he's usually got it right. He spent his lifetime producing this. Example: the more men have, the more they have to lose, and perhaps they may lose it all. Those riches that have been laid up with great deal of pain, and kept with a great deal of care, perish by evil travail. And the very pains and care which they take to secure and increase them, many a one has ruined his estate by being over solicitous to advance it and make it more. Got to have more. Those that got a big house got to, get a bigger house. And has lost all by catching it all. Trying to grab it all, he ends up losing it all. Riches are perishing things, and all our care about them cannot make them otherwise. They make themselves wings and fly away. Keep in mind, this is in the late 1600s. This is the way they talked back then. Okay. He that thought he should have made his son a gentleman leaves him a beggar. He begets a son and brings him up in the prospect of an estate. When he dies, he leaves it under charge of debt, and as much as it's worth, so that there is nothing in hand. This is a common case. Estates that made a great show do not prove what they seemed, but they cheat the heir. Matthew Henry. As he came forth from his mother's womb, naked shall he return to go as he came, and shall take nothing of his labor, which he may carry away in his hand. And this also is a sore evil, that in all points as he came, so shall he go. And what profit hath he that laboreth for the wind? Would you work hard to get the wind? What are you going to do with it? Jesus said, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust corrupt, and thieves break through and steal. Lay up treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not corrupt, and thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. I've tried, not real successfully, but I've tried for most of my Christian life, 56 years. I want to lay up treasures in heaven. I don't care about stuff down here. Got a car with 330,000 miles on it. I'm perfectly content. Got my $9 Walmart shoes on. I'm content. Somebody gave me 50 Hawaiian shirts they got for $0.25 apiece. I'm content. Some people are not content no matter what. It wouldn't matter what you gave. They want more. Okay? But if your treasures are laid up in heaven, you can't lose it. They can't get that. I've led people to the Lord. They've led people to the Lord. I've helped people start ministries. Can't take that away. God's got it. Okay. All his days also he eateth in darkness, and he hath much sorrow and wrath with his sickness. Behold, that which I have seen, it is good and comely for one to eat and to drink and to enjoy the good of all his labor, that he taketh under the sun all the days of his life, which God giveth him, for it is his portion. Solomon says it's good just to enjoy what you got. Be happy. Every man also to whom God giveth riches and wealth, and hath given him power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, to rejoice in his labor. This is the gift of God. Look, if you're just content and you get fed and you got a place to sleep, that's a gift from God. For he shall not much remember the days of his life, because God answereth him in the joy of his heart. Matthew Henry again. Solomon, from the vanity of riches hoarded up, and he should know, he made a bunch of money, $2 million a day. Here infers that the best course we can take is to use well what we have, to serve God with it, and to do good with it, and to take comfort of it ourselves and our families till he has passed before. Observe, what is what it is that is here recommended to us, not to indulge the appetites of the flesh, or to take up with present pleasures of profits for our portion, but soberly and moderately to make use of what providence has allotted our comfortable passage through the world. You just get what you need. You don't need 200 pairs of shoes in your closet. You only got 2 feet, okay? We must not starve ourselves through covetousness, because we cannot afford ourselves food convenient, nor through eagerness in our worldly pursuits, nor through excessive grief and care and grief, but eat and drink what is fit for us to keep our bodies in good plight for serving the Lord. We must not kill ourselves with labor and then leave others to enjoy it. So there's wisdom there about don't get carried away. Is it worth getting rich? Is it worth all the effort to get rich? I'm not trying to be rich. I'm trying to win souls. God will take care of all that stuff. Okay. Questions or comments, brother? Is it about on time? Let's see. You think your Seminar 4 Lies in the Textbooks is better than your CSE 100 Reasons Why Evolution is Stupid? They cover some of the same material, but I think you'd have to be the judge of that. You decide. Don't know. I like them both. What's your opinion about the false evolution future of the sun? Well, the evolution theory says, the sun started billions of years ago and just happens to be the right distance from the earth and just the right gravitational pull. And we just happen to be going the right speed. Just thousands of things that just happen to be perfect for, the earth to sustain life. They're predicting it's going to burn out in 5 billion years or something like that. I don't care what they predict. I don't care what they think. Okay. God made it. Going to pass away. Music sure is going to draw in those young ones stuck on their heavy metal.
What about the song you played?
I wonder how the T-Rex turned into chickens when the T-Rex supposedly went extinct. Good point. If you think any dinosaur turned into birds, you absolutely are stark raving lunatic. Okay, that is dumb. Really dumb. Okay, what's your opinion of Nick? I love the guy. Okay, guy's a genius. I love his political.
No, that's Fuentes, not Craig.
Oh, different guy?
This is somebody different than the congressman.
Okay. Christian politician, political commentator. Yeah, he's a former Navy SEAL or something. Is that the one?
No, that's the congressman. This is a younger guy.
I don't know him then.
Yeah. He's a little
Okay.
crazy.
Don't know. I don't get to watch the news much, okay? In a dream I had, I was at a nature place and it was misty and humid. I think I saw a small, realistic bonker head dinosaur. I don't know what that is. I dreamed one night that I was a muffler and I woke up exhausted. Hope you and the crew are doing well. My question is, Doc, I talked with a guy named Cloudy Bowels. And I told I would debate him or you, but he's blocked. Would you debate? He asked me. I'll debate Cloudy on creation evolution. They also want to debate on something else. I don't have time to debate everything in the world, okay? If you want to defend the evolution theory, yeah, I debate Cloudy. Okay, good. My jaws are on fire. I gotta go rest. Well, I know they're gonna think I was a woman when they find my jawbone. Gonna be all worn out. All right, see you tomorrow night.